I'd say 15 because it's a 10-minute video by Team APS or APS Amplifier, and it says, "Can we stop making one card combo?" I don't know if any of you know, but I have a pretty big background with Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh is the game I played the most competitively before moving more over to fighting games. I'm more of a card game player, more of a Yu-Gi-Oh player than I was a fighting game player for a long time. Even though I casually enjoyed fighting games, and then at some point decided to start taking them more serious with with a game like Soul Calibur. Mainly Soul Calibur. That was, you should change your name to Alt, and I'll change my name to Delete, and we could be Team Control Alt Delete. That's pretty good. I actually like that. That's hilarious. So we're going to turn this up, and we're going to watch this video about, can Yu-Gi-Oh please stop making one card combos? Now, I want to preface this. I don't know if Paul's going to say it. Paul is Team APS, or the main person of Team APS, but Yu-Gi-Oh has a whole lot of decks right now where you, with one card, you can build an entire board. And it's generally not a board that is small and focused and tuned to do one thing. It's almost a jack of all trades, master of none board, where it has one card that becomes an entire board of, let me see if I can find something, that becomes an entire, hey look, bird, that becomes an entire board of full combo, right? So this is a one card combo here. I can show you guys a problem. This is all happening off one card. Sorry for the Japanese music. Actually, no, I'm not. This shit kind of smacks. Yeah, I forget that Yu-Gi-Oh is a card game when I watch things like this. Put those at the bottom of the deck. Boop. There's someone from extra deck. Yep. Link summon. Link that off. Oh, actually tribute it off. Special. Link summon. Boop. Effects in the graveyard. Let's go back. Fusion summon. Link summon. Fusion summon after adding that to hand. Oh, is it another link first? Yeah, it's another link. It's Unchained. Banish. Special. Banish. Special. Special summon. Overlay. That's a full board. This all happened off one card. It happened off just the search spell card. Just the search spell card. This all happened off, and I can give you a bunch of examples of different one card combos in Yu-Gi-Oh that exist, and it's kind of the way the game is predicated now, right? You can look at a deck like Salamangreat, which has a one card combo with Salamangreat of Fire, or Salamangreat, what's the other one? Veil Links. Those aren't super powerful combos, but they are one card combos. You could look at any of the Prank Kids monsters if Meow Meow Mew is legal, which is a deck that I played for a really long time. You can look at a deck like I'm trying to think of another deck with the one card combo, Fluundereeze, where if you draw a single Robina, normal summon, get Eaglin, normal summon Eaglin, because you can normal summon again, that's part of the effect. Normal summon, search Impin, normal summon Impin, set Dreaming Town, add Robina back to your hand from Banish, right? Like, that's another one card combo. It's more facilitated, it's smaller. Those kind of one card combos generally, I believe one card combos like Prank Kids Meow Meow Mew, or any Prank Kids name, or Prank Kids, or Fluundereeze Robina, while they are strong, they're not overly oppressive and don't create a full board that also sometimes plays around hand traps. That's really the issue, right? If we have these mid-rangey decks that are doing one-card combos, that because they are inherently consistent, they're okay. But when you have things like this that all happen off one card, or like Snake Eyes, more of an issue. So let's watch the Paul video and see what he has to say about one-card combos.
Video is going to be a hater-ass video. So if you
let's go.
Like me complaining about Yu-Gi-Oh, because I know some people
hater-ass video,
like then you can clear out now. This is your warning. I'm going to be talking about one-card combos and why I really and truly despise these cards, the card design behind them, how they have influenced games, deck building, counterplay, everything. I don't like them. So if you do like them, then I guess maybe this isn't the video for you. But I think a lot of people feel this way, and I think
even if you do like one card combos, it's nice to hear the perspective of someone who doesn't and why they don't like it inherently as a game design decision. I also think, I want to preface this, I think that when you create too many powerful one card combos, you have to create powerful counterplay, and that's where all of these really powerful hand traps and going second cards come from in Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's really annoying whenever you're not playing one of those decks and you're playing a more mid-range deck that needs combo pieces, because then you die to those board breaking or going second like Ash Blossom, Ghost Mourner, all of those types of cards, specifically because those cards are made to out the one card combos.
It's really very much an issue that Yu-Gi-Oh has been leaning into more and more. So, what is the one card combo? Well, it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's when there's like a single card that can sort of start an entire sequence of plays, you know, building card advantage, establishing an entire board off of just this one singular card being oftentimes normal summoned or even in some cases special summoned. So right now, an easy example of that would probably be your Snake Eye
Snake Eye
Ash,
Ash.
right? You can
Yes.
normal summon Snake Eye Ash. It can grab
Snake Eye's one of the best
Pop
cards in the game, one of the best decks in the game right now.
Other cards like Original Simple Spoils or Divine Temple, and then like Ash can, you know, use its effect and like send cards away and then get Flamberg and everything just kind of goes crazy, right? And that all can start from a single
Snake Eye
Ash.
Correct.
And as a result of that, it means that that combo can technically start if you have something like, say, Bonfire as well, which I'll get into more of like where the search spells kind of influence this.
What he's getting at is because it's one card, if you have a way to search that one card, now instead of having 3 starters, you have 6 starters. And if you have a way to search that other starter or the thing that searches the starter of the starter, then you have 9 starters, right? And all of those are facilitated off of the same card. It means half of your deck, like let's look at Print Kids for Print Kids Meow Meow Mew, facilitates a one card combo with any of the Print Kids names. Roxy's, Dropsies, Lampsies, or Fansies. I have different names for them, but we'll use the actual names. That is wind, fire, earth, and water, right? Any of the names, if you draw it and you have no other cards in hand, not Roxy's technically, so the other 3, that is 9 starters, plus the field spell, which searches one of the 9 starters. You have 12 starters in the deck. You play the 1 terraforming, make that 13. You play Roxy's and have other cards in hand. You play 2 of those, right? Most decks don't play 3. That is 15 or 16 starters. That's half your deck.
A bit later, but basically, yeah, Snake Eye Ash is a 1 card combo. Everybody kind of knows about this. Also, there are like Snake Eyes is not the only example, right? There's Tenpai Paedra.
Yep.
There's Low from the Voiceless Voice. I play that deck myself, and I think that that card's absolutely insane. It's just like, oh, this thing gets summoned, it places a card, dodging Ash conveniently. We talked about that before.
It places a
and
card.
then, like the card, you get, you know, your continuous speller trap. It searches for another thing, and then it sends, and you like ritual summon, and it's just like all of it started because you successfully resolved
1 card.
Low. 1 card, right? Just one single card builds the board for you. And it's technically been this way for a while in Yu-Gi-Oh! Sometimes it's like kind of happy accidents. That's where I think of maybe your Jet Synchrons.
Zodiac was a 1 card combo. Zodiac, I believe it was Rapier. Zodiac Rapier was a 1 card combo, so it's existed at least since Maximum Crisis, which was like 2017. And we also had really funny 1 card combos with things like Shaddoll Fusion. Shaddoll Fusion is a 1 card combo that existed during Duelist Alliance, but that's only if your opponent had a board, right? Another good 1 card combo. 2 card combos that were way too powerful was Elder Kanahawk. Same year, maybe a year after, during the Necros format of like the Secret, was it the Secret Forces? I think it was the Secret Forces. I can't remember set names off the top of my head sometimes. I'm fucking old. A lot of these like really powerful combos, I believe I am a happy accident. I think most of us are.
Back in like 2020, I remember in like Adamant Spader Eldritch format, Jet Synchron could be its own 1
card combo because of Christian Hout the Fibrex.
Like a single normal summon Sangan could actually lead to an entire Scythe lock because you linked it into Almaraz and you search for like Crusadia Arborea and a bunch of crazy stuff ensues, which, man, there's a whole conversation really to be had about Link 1 monsters, but
Link 1 monsters, Link 1 monsters a lot of times facilitate 1 card combos, if I'm honest. I don't know if it's on accident or on purpose, but if Link 1 monsters exist, 1 card combos also exist. They follow it, right? Because you are inherently getting rid of a monster that may have a graveyard effect or may have a search effect to 1 for 1, and then you're special summoning a monster on top of it or over it and triggering some sort of graveyard effect or getting an additional effect off of the Link 1, right? I say that because of Salamangreat. They have Salamangreat, I think it's Bale Links or whatever. They have the level 1, the Synchro 1, or the Link 1, rather, that you get rid of because you normal summon Gazelle, dump Beanie, and then special summon Bale Links. You get the fusion, you get the field spell, and then you can bring back the Spinny, and now that's a combo. It's not a very big one, it's not a good one,
save it. But
it is a combo.
Though, it's these cards that kind of just do all of the work for you on successful normal summon and even sometimes successful special summon, like in the
Correct.
case of Mathmech Circular, which
Oh,
literally
Circular was
like
really good.
sends a
Circular is
Mathmech
banned, I
straight
think.
from your deck as a cost to special summon itself, and then like it just kind of goes from there. I think these one card combos are very annoying because to me, it's another one of those examples of Yu-Gi-Oh's really bad power creep problem. And it's
Correct.
like taken to almost its just extremes. So some of the examples I was mentioning were like accidents, but it feels like nowadays Konami is actually designing decks with
Around
one
this.
card combos in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know that technically a lot of decks have had search cards in the past, right? Like I think of maybe a Madolche Mageline or something like that. Like okay, it's when it's summoned, you get to like add a card or a
Correct.
monster of that archetype to your hand. But it feels like in recent years, that's like not really enough. Nowadays, it's kind of like it's not just that it like adds a kind of just a mysterious card to your hand and you kind of decide what to do from there. There's a very clear line of
Yeah.
play and like
So
progression.
he's okay with searchers and starters, right? But he's not okay with the deck playing itself or piloting itself off of one card, right? Like you go reinforcement of the army into Satellar Knight, Deneb, and then Deneb into Altair, sets him back or pass. Right? Then you have decisions you have to make with the backer that you set or what you're getting off of Deneb. Maybe you get a Nuclei, right? Maybe you don't get maybe you get Vega, right? Maybe you get Sirius. Maybe you don't get Altair because you're not inherently able to use that Altair immediately because you like linked off the Deneb or you get an additional normal sum for the Altair. No, none of that, right? So you're actually playing the deck. The deck is not piloting itself. But in the case of something like Snake Eye Ash, you go Bonfire and Snake Eye Ash, and the full combo plays itself out after. Or you go Prank Kid's Place into Fire Kid, which is Lamses. You normal summon the Lamses, you make Meow Meow Mew, you special summon another kid from deck, you make Do Doodle Do, you search the field, the fusion spell, and you just do the full combo from there. I could name the full combo, but I don't really feel like it, right? Those decks play themselves. There's no lines of thinking. The only lines of thinking is potentially playing around certain hand traps, but these decks also have inherent outs to them. That's not as fun.
That leads to building an entire board, like in the Snake Eye example, or even like let's say Tearlament's Rhino Heart, right?
Yep, Rhino Heart.
It's summoned, it sends a tear, the tear fuses, you make Kid Kalos, like rinse, repeat. And so for me, I think that
yep.
these make Yu-Gi-Oh so
one-dimensional,
annoying to
it's
play.
just one-dimensional.
It's kind of, in my opinion, what's led to the rise in like hyper hand trap culture. I don't know if this is a word for it, but the increase in the amount of like hand traps people have to play because it becomes so important to stop these cards, right? Like if you do not have an Imperm or you do not have a Veiler or an Ash Blossom or something to like freeze these one card play starters, then literally a whole board is made.
Yeah, as I said earlier, I did say this earlier. If the going first plays are strong, the going second plays need to be as strong, or the counterplay needs to be as strong, right? Or at least close to, which means that you have to design cards like Infinite Impermanence, like Ash Blossom, like Ghost Ogre, like Maxi, which existed way before this problem, or Infinite Impermanence, evenly matched, that break these one card combo boards with one card, right? So these really sacky feeling cards, or hyper hand trap, as he called it, cards happen because of the strength of one card combos in the game. If you remove that strength from the game, then you can lower the power level of the cards needed to counter it.
And can I just point out too that it's kind of weird that we call them one card combos? Like it's almost a bit of a misnomer because technically a combo means like combination, like it's a shortened form of combination. So really that means like two. And so like if it's a single card, maybe we need to have a new name for it. Not related, but the point is that I think that these single cards doing this much is just crazy. It means that comebacks can happen out of nowhere, and maybe you could view that as like fun, like it's kind of unpredictable because someone
That's toxic.
you know, a late game.
That's toxic.
Rhino Heart or Snake Eye Ash and like made a huge comeback. But
That's
truthfully,
toxic.
it just makes going first feel even more
even more stronger. Yep.
And it also makes those search spells like any deck that has like a Rhoda or you know Bonfire is probably the popular example, but a lot of different decks have sort of a Rhoda equivalent card. It makes those
Rhoda means
cards
reinforcement of the army.
even more obnoxious.
Do you want level 4 lower warrior
a
deck?
single card
your
can lead
level
to
4
the thing
lower
that leads
warrior
to
from
the
your deck to
combo.
hand.
So now like you've got this hyper consistency aspect to it. Where if truly Snake Eye Ash was a one card combo, but there was no other way to access it, right?
If
like
it was only
wasn't a
3
matter of
copies.
using, you know, original Sinful Spoils and like Bonfire and you know, 1-for-1 or something like that.
He's referencing this because think about Snake Eye Ash, right? 40 card deck, you have 3 Snake Eye Ash. That's a less than 10% chance to draw it, right? Not too bad as your first card, but of course you draw 5 cards, so it's a little higher than that. But you can draw 3 of Snake Eye Ash, 3 of Bonfire, 3 of Original Sinful Spoil, that's 9, and 1 for 1, because it's a fucking level 1, that's great, right? Discard a monster, special summon a level 1 monster from your deck. Wonderful. So that is 10 in 40 cards. That's really high probabilities for your starter that creates an entire combo.
That would be, it'd be one thing. It would mean that it's certainly like a Saki card. Like if you open with this, it's pretty crazy. But whenever you can search for the 1 card starter, then it's like, well, technically now you have like 6 1 card starters, or maybe even 9
9
1 card
1-card
starters.
starters.
I think that I prefer when cards are at least like there's like 2 card combos, actual combinations. It's gonna sound so crazy saying this, but I even have started to miss decks like say Drytron, where like they still at least need another like ritual monster in the hand or something to reveal for an effect. Or
Drytron's always needed 2 to 3 cards to be the most polarizing deck, the most powerful deck in the room. But when they were the most powerful deck in the room and 1-card combos existed, they were still the most powerful deck in the room because their ceiling was so much higher and there were so many more decision trees and plays you could make.
Something to tribute in order to like get them out onto the field. It's not much because usually that still kind of leads to about the same place, but at least like in those cases, you kind of have to have something. In many cases these days, like it's maybe there's a discard involved, but maybe there's like not even that much. I mean, I remember when like Magician Souls first came out and people were like, oh man, this is kind of crazy because like it sends the monster as a cost. And so like
From the
that
deck,
was
by
a
the way.
cool thing.
From the deck.
I don't like what 1 card combos do because like I said, it makes the hand trap situation feel a lot more polarizing. You've got to run, like 12 hand traps or something like which we've seen players doing right now as a form of counterplay. But also it means that older decks that just don't have those 1 card starters, like
Cannot
where just like
compete.
a single card does everything,
Cannot compete.
get pushed further back. Like they get power crept even more. We already know that power creep it's a big thing, it's an issue, it's trouble. But like literally it's kind of the extreme version of this, where there are some decks that just have to work a lot harder to kind of get off the ground. Maybe they have to have 2 specific cards or something like that. But no, the new decks that have the cards, to me it kind of makes Yu-Gi-Oh feel boring and also a little bit homogenous, right? Like when every deck's just got like a super high value normal summon that literally plays for them.
Even if the combo isn't the same, the structure usually is. Starter, special summon. Starter searches a card or dumps a card. Special summon something else. The special summon monster gets back the card or gets you another card. Link summon or synchro summon. That card adds you another card or special summons another card from deck or graveyard. You make another monster, you search for a really strong speller trap or an additional monster, you special summon that monster or set that additional speller trap, you go into one more monster and then make a powerful boss monster. Like they all kind of end the same way. Even though they're different, they're inherently the same because they're all happening off the 1 card that your deck is focused around.
Then like it feels like there's less to do, right? Like there's nothing really going on. Like,
The decks are piloting themselves.
These decks.
Yeah.
I remember when Blackwing Shura had to like run over a monster back in the day to get like a Blackwing from deck, or like your Gladiator Beast had to survive the battle phase, right? Just different things like that. Or maybe you had to still summon 2 Burning Abyss monsters and like make Dante and defense, and like that was kind of a thing. I don't know. I think that it gets more and more extreme because Konami kind of has no choice. Like if a new deck wants to be good and be viable and be
It needs to
competitive,
have a
then
1-card
it's got to
combo.
have a 1 card starter. And then it also means that every other thing in your hand now becomes an extender. And I've always had mixed thoughts on the idea of the extender, because extenders, like, it's kind of a vague term, but I mean, I guess it's like if your 1 card starter gets negated, then sometimes your extender can allow you to kind of keep playing anyway. But I think when like the 1 card can get you that much value, then the extender just really pushes it over the edge. I don't know. Maybe this is, I'm just, like I said, just being a hater, and this is like a cool thing with
This
modern
is a
Yu-Gi-Oh!
hater
Like,
video
technically,
for sure.
no deck's gonna say no to the idea of having a card that kind of does everything for you, but it's just dull when like every
Every
deck
deck is
has
doing it.
that thing, and then it just like, I don't know, they all play the same way, and then they like necessitate even more leaning into hand traps. And so I don't know. What's the solution then? I've complained enough. What should Konami do? Well, I guess obviously, like I said, I would prefer if decks just like had 2 card plays. we could get back to cards that need to reveal something else in hand and they can like special summon or, tie in some meaningful cost or discard to a lot of these effects. I'm not talking Mathmech Circular where you're sending things from the deck. That's stupid.
I think some of my favorite decks are 2-card decks. Like when I think of 2 of my favorite decks of all time in Yu-Gi-Oh, I think of Magical Musketeer. Modern Magical Musketeer, you need Max or Starfire plus a spell, right? Or you need a spell going second. A spell going second is really fucked up because you use Link to the Veins, right? And then you get a bunch of stuff off Link to the Veins. But then from there, you need more cards, right? You always need Link to the Veins plus another card, or Magical Musketeer Max or Starfire plus another card. You always need 2 cards to be able to do something in that deck, and it's really good at breaking boards and going second. I think it's really cool. And another good example for me back in the day was Ritual Beast. Ritual Beast was a powerful combo deck that always required 2 cards. The combo was almost always the same, but you needed Elder and Kanahawk, or a way to create a situation where you're double normal summoning with Kanahawk, right? So like whether that be Secret Lab, or double summon plus a monster, right? 3 cards or 2 cards, one of which being Kanahawk and a Tamer name, is generally how you got to a full combo. And those were really fun because it meant that you had to build your deck in a way where you were trying to swing draw or swing searching into the favor of getting to that additional starter that you didn't have in hand.
Stupid. I'm saying like, actually having some sort of a cost or something. Or maybe it just comes down to at least like tying in later restrictions. Like, oh, you can only summon fire monsters in the turn, which crazy. Snake Eyes don't really have any restrictions like that. Surprise, surprise. Neither do many of the things that have come out in the last few years.
Restrictions is also a good idea. Adding restrictions so that decks can't
That's a whole video
explode super hard at the end board.
I guess, I don't know. It feels whiplashy too. Like just like when every new deck's got the 1-card thing and it means like going first is strong. And I'm repeating points here. The point is, I don't like these cards. I really hope Konami steps away from this design philosophy. I just find the cards are dull and boring, and they don't really do it for me. I think that there's just not much interaction and decision making when it comes to stuff like this. So I really hope that, moving forward with card design, they set this aside and maybe find some ways to balance decks a little bit better on their own. I know it's going to be tough because it's like, well, you got to kind of match whatever the current expectation by players is, but it would be really nice to have fewer of them. So yeah, you guys can let me know how you feel about these 1-card combos. I don't like them, but maybe someone does. If you have some argument for why they're cool and make Yu-Gi-Oh! Way loads better, you can tell me in the comments. Cool, all right, that's going to be it. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'll be reading the comments and stuff as well. Fast turn.
I think the issue is, it's not that they don't make the game better or worse, it's that they make the game more consistent, which in the context of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is really detrimental because there's no resources. Right, your hand is your resource. So if the game is extremely and truly consistent, that means that everyone is going to be trying to do the same thing. Hyper focus and hyper analyze on the turn 1 and making sure that their turn 1 play is not stopped. Right, the counterplay ends there. Did my turn 1 play go through, and is it a strong enough board to stop my opponent from playing the game on turn 2? How do I hedge against cards like Evenly Matched, Forbidden Droplet, which doesn't play that much right now, hand traps, especially hyper hand traps. Certain cards have special conditions which trigger an automatic win or loss if the conditions are met. Is that what 1-card matches are about? No. Not inherently. But when you look at some of the way that boards are structured in Yu-Gi-Oh, it's very hard to beat some boards that happen off 1 card. Right? Let me see if I can get this going. Oops, what did I do? Where's just regular Dueling Book? Is Dueling Book gone? An API file now? What the fuck happened with Dueling Book? Can you not just use Dueling Book anymore? Did I break something? I have a Dueling Book account. I want to show an example of a 1-card combo that I think is like really strong, but still weak in its own way, right? Magispectors used to be the kind of deck that I am in. Magispectors used to be the kind of deck that would like get 1 or 2 cards and you would make plays off of that. Now, you just need 1 card, right? So let's go to Deck Constructor. Let me show you guys my main deck. This is my main deck, Trap Tricks. Love this deck, super sick. I don't have it in person anymore. Let me show you guys. Boop. I don't have it in person anymore. I haven't bought any in-person Yu-Gi-Oh cards in a long time. I don't really feel like it. But when I play Master Duel, this is the deck I play. When I feel like playing Yu-Gi-Oh, in person, if someone has this deck and they want to play, I'm like, yeah, I'll sit down and play some Trap Tricks game with you. Does your list look kind of like this? It does. All right, badass. Let's do it. But this is the deck that I'm looking for. I'm looking forward to coming to Master Duel, so I can at least try it for a little bit. If you guys can see, there's a lot of going second cards and going first and second cards, right? And by that I mean hand traps, right? We have a nine hand trap suite with 2 Triple Tactics Talent and 2 Book of Moon, along with the 1 Call by Grave. Those are all going second cards, but also double as going first cards, right? These hand traps you can use as extenders for your board after you've already gotten your playoff. And this deck is very good at getting its plays going with 1 card, right? You can draw Bambuku or you can draw Crow. And either of those will get you to a full combo. Let me show you guys that combo so you see what I mean. And it's not entirely unbeatable. It's actually one of the weaker 1-card combos in the game when we're referring to 1-card combos. But it is powerful enough that it brings this deck from like rogue tier doing nothing to being a solid enough deck that you could probably win a couple games with. So I'm going to put everything back in the deck. Oh. Put everything back in the deck and only get a Magispector Crow. That's the only thing we're going to get. We're going to go main phase. We're going to view the deck, grab a Magispector Crow or Bambuku. This works with either. We're going to add this down. I'm going to show you guys the full combo so I can show you guys what he's referring to when it comes to 1-card combos. If you're not sure what he means, right? If you come from card games that have resources, this isn't generally a problem with resource-based card games. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is not one of those, and this is what happens when power creep sets in because there's no set rotation. Normal summon, Magispector Yada, Magispector Crow Yada. I'm going to search. The search is going to get me Magispector Wind to hand. I'm going to activate Magispector Wind, tribute. I'm going to tribute my Yada to, oops, my bad, to bottom of deck. I'm going to, you have to do this all manually on Dueling Book, so it's whatever, right? I'm going to go ahead and get myself a Magispector Bambuku. This gets special summoned onto the field. You can special summon an attack or defense. It doesn't really matter. This goes to the graveyard. Then we're going to activate Bambuku's effect because it was normal or special summoned. Bambuku is going to get us to the new card, one of the 2 new cards that exist, or 3. We just saw one of them as well. This is going to give me a Magispector Porcupine Yamarashi to hand. Yamarashi can special summon itself if I control a Magispector monster, which I do. Wow, I have a Bambuku. And then we're going to declare this effect to reset this Magispector Wind, the spell and trap card zone. That's very cool. Then we're going to link these 2 off. We're going to take these both face up extra. We're going to link them off to make the new Link monster, Orthus Nui. We're going to make Nui. This gets set, by the way. Nui's going to activate its effect to add back 2 Magispector monsters from my face up extra to my hand. We're going to add back a 2 and a 5 so that we're able to pendulum summon. So these get added to my hand, and then it puts 2 into the spell and trap zone. I mean, into the puts 2 into the face up extra deck. So we're going to take both the ones that do something, I guess. So we're gonna get QB. And we're gonna get Ogama. You have to do a lot of work sometimes to move cards around in this. These go to face up extra. And these go to my hand. And then we're going to put these in scale, right? So now we're going to activate this in scale. We have a scale 2. We activate in scale. We now have a scale 5. Which means from here, we can use the 2 zones by Nui to pendulum summon. We're going to pendulum summon. Remember, this all happened off 1 card. Pendulum summon. QB. And we're going to pendulum summon Ogama. QB's effect is going to activate because it was normal or special summoned. Ogama's effect is going to activate because it was normal or special summoned. I'm going to go ahead and put Ogama as 2, QB as 1, so they can't ash my QB. That'd be really cool. So what we're going to do is now we're going to set a Magispector Tornado. This gets automatically set by Ogama. And then we're going to add to hand a Magispector Tempest from QB. Then we're going to set it. We're going to overlay these 2. I'm going to move the overlay, I think. Yeah, let's move it over here. To summon Magispector Draco Ryu. All right, this all happened off 1 card. the combo's not actually over. As soon as our opponent's turn starts, we can then Magic Spectre Wind away our Nui, because we no longer need it, to special summon a Bambuku from the deck. Bambuku will add a Porcupine. Then Draco will trigger. We would detach off Draco to search for another interruption. I can show you guys what that looked like. So we'd go to end phase. This is all off one card during the first turn of the game. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards from one card. Right? And this isn't even an extremely powerful one-card combo. I just want to let you guys know that. So if you're looking at this, and it seems crazy to have 2 interruptions during our opponent's turn off one card, we're going to get a third one too. It's not over. During our opponent's turn, say they go to standby phase, would activate this, tribute this away, special summon from the deck a Bambuku in defense. Bambuku is going to add us this to hand, so now we have that in hand. This goes to the graveyard. This is going to trigger. And we can send either Ogama or QB to the graveyard. Doesn't matter which. I'm trying to get rid of an overlay. And that's going to special summon from the deck our other... Where's it at? Where's Kieran? Well, I don't see Kieran. I'm supposed to have a Magic Spectre Kieran somewhere in here, but I guess I haven't updated in a while. Kieran is the level 5 that bounces a monster by bouncing itself or any other pendulum monster back to the hand. So we would have a bounce, a banish, and a negation of a summon or effect. Right? 3 interruptions off one card. Inherently not even one of the most powerful one-card combos in the game. There's a lot of break points, a lot of choke points where you can interact with the combo and it's actually disrupted. But you get follow-up off of it after, and you have a pretty strong resource loop as long as they do not remove your... What are these called again? As long as they don't remove your pendulum scale. Decks like this didn't exist in Yu-Gi-Oh! 10 years ago. They continue to exist now because of power creep, and it makes the game feel more lopsided for going first. Going second really isn't that strong unless you're playing a bunch of board breakers and a very inherent specific going second deck, like something like Dinosaurs or Magical Musketeers, with a lot of cards that are going to make this board blank. Right? Dark Ruler No Mores, Evenly Match, Forbidden Droplet, cards that basically just are non-interactive. You have to create non-interactive cards to deal with the power that comes from one-card combos. That is the problem with one-card combos inherently. At least the really, really over-the-top ones that leave you with like 2 or 3 negates and a bounce and a pop, those are generally not okay. One-card combos that create a resource loop, that give you like 1 interruption for 1 card, and then you have a resource loop, and you're playing a meaningful back and forth with your opponent, like something like Prankeds, generally not too bad. Kind of okay for the most part, because you need other cards, extenders as it were, to make the deck feel more powerful. If you don't know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh!, this doesn't make any sense to you. But if you know things about Yu-Gi-Oh!, comment down below if you actually like one-card combos and disagree with the Team APS Amplifier video. Leave some reasons why down below. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. I personally, if you guys want my opinion, I personally don't believe that one-card combo should be inherently the most powerful thing in your deck. I think that they should just be a resource engine and maybe lead to 1 interruption. Maybe 2, right? 1 card for 2 interruptions and some inherent value that will allow you to have some staying power in the game is okay. But anything beyond that is teetering on the edge of unplayable game territory, right? Because then going second becomes less fun, and it becomes just a coin flip game, and that's no fun for anyone. Now, if you're going second, you have to play a bunch of cards to hedge your bets against other decks going first, basically making your deck have to always hedge its bets and play a certain subset of like 10 to 15 cards. Ruins deck building, ruins going second, enables power creep. I think we know the issue here. Anyways, this has been Beanie Thuggish talking about and reacting to this APS Amplifier video and kind of agreeing with it for the most part. Signing out and saying peace.